and I am going to share my screen. Okay, all right. So I've shared my screen and I hope that you guys are able to see my screen. Can anyone please confirm if my screen is visible or not?
It is visible.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Taha. Okay, so let's talk about what exactly standard form is, okay? Now in maths, in one of the previous chapters, we had this discussion about numbers, that we can write a number in decimal form, we can write a number as a fraction, and we can write it as a percentage as well. But mathematically, their values were same. So by now we know we have the representation as a fraction, as a percentage, and in decimals, okay? Standard form is also another way of writing down a number, and the examiner can either ask you directly to write down a number in standard form, or you will see where exactly we will be using this, right? So once we're done with the discussion, we will be talking about some past paper questions, just so we get the idea. All right, but for now, let's talk about how exactly we are converting a number to standard form, okay? So right now we are discussing how to convert an ordinary number to standard form, okay? Forget about how to convert a number in standard form to ordinary number. That is easy. We have discussed that already. And again, we will talk about it. For now, we will see how to go from here to here, okay? All right, so let's talk about the left side for now of this table. Let's discuss the left side, okay? The first thing which you need to understand is that you can't see a decimal in the first number, right? It's just 29. So where exactly is the decimal? The decimal is at the end of the number. If you are not able to see the decimal in a number, just know that the decimal is basically written at the end of the number, okay? Then it's 350. We can't see the decimal, so it is assumed that the decimal is right here. It's 4716. I cannot see the decimal anywhere. It means that the decimal is at the end. Similarly, we have a big number. We can't find the decimal anywhere. So just know that the decimal is at the end, okay? Then we have 0.3. The decimal is visible. We have 0.09. Decimal is there. And then we can see the decimal, okay? Now, why am I emphasizing on the decimal again and again? I'll tell you. Standard form basically just has one thing in it, okay? And you would be able to notice that we have a decimal after the first digit. We have a decimal after the first digit. The decimal is after 4, that is the first digit. We can't see a decimal anywhere here, but it's assumed that it would be at the end. And this means that it is after the first digit. Again, it is after the first digit. Similarly, in all the cases, you can see that the decimal is coming after the first digit. So basically, in standard form, you need to convert an ordinary number to a form where the decimal is coming after the first digit, okay? But you can't say, for example, if it is 29, and if I want to convert this 29 to standard form, so I can't just say that it would become 2.9. I know that mathematically the value of 29 and 2.9 is different, okay? Standard form is just another way of writing down the same number. So I need to multiply 2.9 with something in order to get 29 again, okay? So this is the idea behind it. All right, now let's see how exactly we convert a number to standard form. Let's start the discussion with the very first one. So 1 second only. All right, okay. Okay, so the first number is 29 and I want to convert it to the standard form. Right now, the decimal is after 9. I will move this decimal 1 unit to the left in order to get the standard form. So it would become 2.9 multiplied by 10 power something. Okay, all of these numbers would become something of this type. For example, if I talk about 350, I will be moving this decimal 1 and 2 units to the left, so it would become 3.50 multiplied by 10 power something. So this is how exactly standard form looks like. Now the discussion and the important part is that what exactly would come in the power? What number am I going to write down here? What number am I supposed to write down here? Okay, so we have two things. Please pay attention. We have two things. If we are moving this decimal towards the left, the power is going to be positive. Okay, if we are moving the decimal towards the left, like this was the decimal, I have moved it 2 units to the left, so the power would be positive, and the number of units we move the decimal to the left, that is going to be the power. For example, in case of 29, I have moved the decimal that was after 9 1 unit to the left, so the power would be positive 1. Positive because I've moved the decimal towards the left side. This decimal would be moved towards the left side again, so the power would be positive. And how many units? I'm moving it 2 units, so it would become 2. Then 1, 2 and 3 units, so it would become 4.716 multiplied by 10 power 3. So you can see for now all the powers are positive. Why? Because I'm moving the decimal towards the left side. Okay, let me just zoom out a bit to solve the other questions. Okay, let's talk about this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay, I've moved the decimal 8 units to the left. Now I've written 6 point. You can write down 6, you can write down 6.0, you can write down 6.0000. After decimal, the 0 would not count, right? For example, I can write another 0 here. It is not going to make any difference. The value would remain same. If we have a number 6, for example, 6 and 6.000, they are mathematically same. Okay, so now you know that since number 1, the main thing is decimal is moved 8 units to the left, so it would become 6.00000 multiplied by 10 power 8. It is completely fine if you skip the zeros, because after decimal, the value of zeros would not count, right? For example, 60 and 600, they are different. I agree. But 6.0 and 6.00, now they are mathematically same. The value is 6 for both of them. Okay, so this is what we need to understand. All right, so for now we were moving the decimal towards the left side, and you could see that every time the power was positive, the power was positive, the power was positive, the power was positive. Then how things have changed? Now you would notice we have negative powers here. We have negative powers, negative powers, negative powers. Why? Because again, this is an ordinary number. 0.3 is an ordinary number, and I need to convert it to standard form. But this time around, in order to convert this number to standard form, I need to move this decimal 1 unit to the right. So again, it would become 3.0 or 3 only. It's completely fine. Okay, multiplied by 10. And in the power, we have moved the decimal 1 unit, so it would be 1. And since we have moved the decimal towards the right side, so it would be -1. Okay, it would be -1. Similarly, if we look at the second example, I need to move this decimal 1 and 2 units to the right side, so it would become 9 multiplied by 10 power something. That something would be negative because I've moved the decimal towards the right side. And how many units? 2 units. So it would be -2. Similarly, if I talk about the second last example, this is my decimal. I'll move it 1, 2, 3 and only 3, right? Because I need to convert it to the standard form again. 1, 2 and 3. So it would become 7.1 multiplied by 10 power something, and then something, and that something would be -3 because I've moved the decimal towards the right side. That is why I got the minus sign and I've moved it 3 units. So it would be -3. And lastly, we have decimal here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that is it. And it would become 5.02 multiplied by 10 power something. It would be negative because this time around I've moved the decimal towards the right side. And how many units? 4 units. Okay. So now we know how to convert an ordinary number to standard form. Any confusions with this part, with the first part of the discussion?
No. No.
All right. Okay, great. Excellent.
No.
So we know, okay. So we know how to convert an ordinary number to standard form. How do we convert a number in standard form to ordinary number? That's completely different. Okay. Please keep the left right thing for this part. Like at times students get confused. They just mix up ordinary number and standard forms. Just know in ordinary numbers, whenever you would be moving the decimal towards the left, the power would be positive, and whenever we will be moving the decimal towards right, the power would be negative. Okay. Now, how do we convert a number in standard form to ordinary form? Let's discuss that quickly. That's very, very easy and it's not difficult. Okay. Let's talk about these examples only. Acha. So this is what we have. All right. Okay. Okay. Now imagine that you have the number in standard form, and for some reason, for example, you have all the standard forms in the ordering question, and in order to interpret or understand the number easily, you need to convert it to an ordinary number, right? We have been discussing those questions yesterday as well. So how do we deal with such cases? Okay. Now it's 2.9 multiplied by 10 power 1. The power is positive. The power is positive. The power is positive. The power is positive. If the power is positive, the decimal would be moved towards the right side. So you can write it as this decimal would move over here and it would become 29. Okay. Again, the question is 3.5 multiplied by 10 power 2. It's positive 2. So this decimal would be moved towards the right side. Okay. And how many units? 2 units. So 1, 2 units, and it would become 350. Okay. Then we have 4.716 multiplied by 10 power positive 3. Okay. Now it's different. When you have the standard form and when you have the positive power, so this decimal would be moved 3 units to the right. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. So it would become 4,716. Then when I will move this decimal, which I could not see initially, but I know if there's no decimal in a number, the decimal is basically in the end. When I will move this decimal 8 units to the right, because it's positive 8, so it would become 6 with 8 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it would become basically this number. Okay. So this is how we work in standard forms whenever we have positive powers. Okay. Now when we have negative power, just know the decimal is right here. It is -1. So I will move it 1 unit towards the left side. So it would become 0.3. It's -2. So it would move 1, 2 units towards the left. So it would become 0.09. 3 units. So 1, 2, and 3. So it would become 0.0071. And then 4 units. So it would become 0. I already have 5. So I need 3 more zeros. 1, 2, 3. And then 5, 0, 2. Okay. So this is how we convert a number from standard form to ordinary form, right? Any confusions with this? Please tell me. I can explain it again. It's completely fine, but this is very, very important.
No confusion.
All right. Okay, great, Taha. And what about Nosharvan and Urva?
No, ma'am.
All right. Okay, great. Nosharvan, are you okay with this?
Yes.
Okay. All right, great. So this was basically a discussion about the conversion from ordinary to standard and standard to ordinary. Okay. All right. Again, this is just for your understanding that whenever you would come across standard form with a positive power, just know this would be a large number, like it would be 43000, like 43 lakhs, right? And whenever you will be having negative power in 10, it would be a small number. So it's just something to help you with the understanding. Whenever we will have positive powers of 10, the number would become bigger than how it is initially. It's 4.3 and then it's 43 lakhs. And then whenever you would have negative power, the number would be less. Okay. If it's 2.1, it would become 0.021. But we know the idea, so it's completely fine, even if we don't discuss this. Okay. Now I think that is it. Next we have questions. So I'll be switching to whiteboard because I need to explain one last thing, and then we would be in the position to talk about the past paper questions. All right, so let me take out the questions quickly. All right, okay. Now you would come across questions of this type. This is example 1. This is basically the manipulation in standard form. You will understand the idea very quickly. It's example number 1, okay? In example number 1, the question says, the number P written in standard form is 8 multiplied by 10 power 5, okay? So P is 8 multiplied by 10 power 5, and the number Q written in the standard form is 5 multiplied by 10 power minus 2. So these are the two numbers you need to calculate. This is the question basically. Excuse me. Calculate P cross Q give your answer in standard form. Okay, now students, you have two numbers P and Q. Both of them are written or are given in the standard form. It's 8 multiplied by 10 power 5, and it's 5 multiplied by 10 power minus 2. And you need to solve this in order to find the value for P cross Q. Okay. So it's P cross Q. All right. So P cross Q would basically mean I need to write down P, that is 8 multiplied by 10 power 5, and then Q, that is 5 multiplied by 10 power minus 2. All right. Okay, Maiza, I'll send you. Don't worry. I'll send you. Do not worry. Okay. All right. So basically, since you are back, now we are done with the discussion about standard forms. Now we are just discussing some more contents about it. It's okay. You would be able to understand it now as well. Okay. So we have two numbers P and Q, and the two numbers are given in the standard form. And now the examiner wants you to find out the value of P cross Q, that is P multiplied by Q. So this is P, this is Q. Okay. We know that in multiplication, I can just rearrange them. I can write it this way as well. 10 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 10 power 5 multiplied by 10 power minus 2. 8 multiplied by 5 would give me 40. Okay, this part is clear. This is the important part now. What would be the value of this one? Now, please pay attention. It's important. We need to understand it very, very carefully. In maths, let's say this is a number, okay? This is the base and this is the power. So this is the base, this is the base, and these are the powers, okay? You know what is base and what is power now, okay? And now we have a rule. We will be discussing all the rules in detail, all the rules once we go there. For now, this is the only rule we need to know. And the rule says, if you have a power m multiplied by a power n, you need to write it down with one base, okay? So these numbers are same with two different powers. We'll write down the base once.
Answered.
Okay,
Answered in chat. I answered.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'll check that. Just give me 1 second. Okay, it's a power m multiplied by a power n. Bases are same, so I'll write it down a power m plus n. Okay, similarly, what is happening here? I have 10 power 5 and 10 power minus 2. So I'll multiply it by 10 power 5 plus minus 2. Okay, now I know 5 plus minus 2 is basically 5 minus 2, right? I can write it as 5 minus 2 and it would become 40 multiplied by 10 power 3. Now I'll check your answer. 1 second only. Yes, very good, Umayza. Very well done, Taha. Excellent. Okay, very good, both of you. Okay, very good. Now, this is the value. That is correct. But you need to give your answer in the standard form. Okay, now we need to give the answer in the standard form. I'll come to that. Before this, let's revise whatever we have done. It was P multiplied by Q. Where it is P multiplied by Q, I wrote P and Q. I have multiplied the two numbers, 8 and 5. It gave me 40. For the rest of the two things, I had 10 power 5 and 10 power minus 2. Bases are same. Bases are same. So I would write the base once only and I'll be adding the powers. So I've added the powers and this is what I would get. Okay. But I am not done yet. I'm not done yet. I need to write this number as standard form. Okay. Right now the decimal is over here. I will move the decimal 1 unit towards the left and it would become 4.0 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10 power 3. I did not do anything to 10 power 3. 10 power 3 was written as it is. Okay. I've just converted 40 to the standard form by moving this decimal, which was not there initially, but I know it would be there because the decimal is not visible in a number. It's basically written at the end. I've moved that decimal 1 unit to the left. So I will be multiplying it by 10 power 1. Now we are almost done. Again, bases are same. So I can write it as 4.0 multiplied by 10 power positive 4. So this is going to be the answer. Okay. This was one method of doing it. Another method could be, I'll tell you the other method. That just erase all of this. If you were not able to understand it very, very easily, I'll tell you the other method. Okay. This is what we got. Okay. Now I know this is not in the standard form. I'll convert it to the ordinary form. It's 40 multiplied by 10 power positive 3. So I can write it as 40,000. Okay. It's 40,000. And now finally, I need to give my answer in the standard form. So I will be moving this decimal 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the left. So I can write it as 4.0 multiplied by 10 power 4. So this is going to be the answer. Okay, 1 second. Because you.
I understand.
Okay, all right,
understand.
great. Umayza, were you able to understand it now? Like once I'm done with it? You know what? I'll send you the recordings because I know where exactly you got confused. Okay. Yes, I know your point is very, very valid because it's basically the opposite when we are going from ordinary to standard and standard to ordinary. That left right thing is opposite for both of them. That is why I agree it's confusing, but I'll send you the recordings and then it would make more sense, right? All right. Okay. So, okay, all right. This was the first example. I'll clear the screen. We'll talk about another example and then we need to quickly switch to the past paper questions. Okay, now one second. I will just get back. The question is exactly the same. We just have one small difference. This time around, you need to do P divided by Q. That is the question basically. It's basically P divided by Q. So we need to find out the value of P divided by Q. Let's talk about the solution. Here comes the solution. It would be P 8 multiplied by 10 power 5 divided by Q 5 multiplied by 10 power minus 2. So I'll do 8 divided by 5 separately, multiplied by 10 power 5 divided by 10 power minus 2. Okay. 8 divided by 5, you can do it through long division. You would get 1.6. And again, for this one, we are going to follow a rule. And the rule says when bases are same, it's a power m divided by a power n when bases are same. And when two numbers are being divided, I can write it as a power m minus n. Okay. So this would become 1.6 multiplied by 10 power. The two powers are 5 and minus 2. So 5 minus 2, and it would become 1.6 multiplied by 10 power 7. So this is going to be the answer. Yes, this is from indices. Very good. Yes, you're right, Umaiza, it's from indices, right? We will be discussing that because as per the order of the syllabus, I just wanted to go through using that order. But yes, this is basically coming from a chapter that would be discussed in the future. For now, let's talk about this. Okay, we have two numbers P and Q. Both the numbers were in standard form. Fair enough. The question was about finding out the value of P divided by Q and then giving the final answer in standard form. So this is P. This is Q. I've separated the numbers and I have separated the 10 thing over here. 8 divided by 5 is 1.6. That's perfect. It's already in the standard form. Now we have two numbers and the bases are same. The bases are same. The powers would be subtracted. Okay. So the first power was 5. The second power was minus 2. So 5 minus minus 2 would give you 7. So this is going to be the answer. Yes. Now, please tell me honestly if you have any confusions with this, any difficulties here, please confirm quickly because we need to switch to past
No
paper.
difficulty.
All right. Okay, great. Urva and Nosharwan, please confirm if you were able to understand this or not.
Yes, ma'am, I understood.
I understood.
Okay. All right. Great. So I will stop sharing this and now I am going to switch to the past paper questions. Okay, students. So here is the first question. Okay. This is question number 20 of some exam and n is equal to 2 multiplied by 10 power 8. Okay, this is the value of n and it is in the standard form because we can't see the decimal, but we know that if the decimal is not visible, it would be at the end of the number. Okay, so it's 2.0 multiplied by 10 power 8. It's in the standard form. The question says, giving your answers in standard form, find the value of this. Acha. So we need to find the value of this. Okay. All right. So it's n multiplied by 700. So it would become 2 multiplied by 10 power 8 multiplied by 700. I can write it as 2 multiplied by 700 multiplied by 10 power 8. And I can write it as 2 multiplied by 7 is 14. And then it was 700. So it would be 1400 multiplied by 10 power 8. Now, 10 power 8 is great. Let's keep it on one side. 1400 has to be converted to the standard form. Here is the decimal. 1, 2, 3 units to the left. So it would become 1.4 multiplied by 10 power. We have moved 3 units to the left, positive 3, and we had 10 power 8 already. Okay, so 1.4 would come here directly. And again, the bases are same. They are being multiplied, so powers would be added. 10 power 3 plus 8 would be 10 power 11. So this is going to be the answer. Okay, all right, Umayza. Very good. Okay, this was the first question. The second one is right here. Please try doing the second part of this question, and then I'll tell you how to do it. It's a 2-mark question. Take 2 minutes and try doing it, and just type your answers. And then we are going to discuss it. Okay, this part you need to do this one. Yes, well done, Taha and Muiz, very good. And converted to the standard form? No, Urva, it totally depends upon the number, okay? We know that for the standard form, we need to have the decimal after the first digit, okay? So it depends upon the number. For example, in the previous number, we had 1400. The decimal was at the end. I had to move it 3 units to the left just so I could have the decimal after 1. That is the first digit, okay? So it totally depends upon the question. And Taha and Muiz, please write down the value in standard form. Your answer is correct, well done. But just convert it to standard form because it says giving your answers in standard form, okay? Take a few more seconds, students, and then we are going to discuss this. Please be quick. Very good, excellent. Taha and Muiz, very well done. All right, let's talk about it. Acha, it's 1 divided by n, okay? So it would be 1. Okay, it's okay, Umayza. It's 1 divided by 2 multiplied by 10 power 8, okay? This is the number basically. Now, we can think about it this way, that it's 1 by 2 being multiplied by 1 by 10 power 8, okay? 1 by 2 is basically 0.5. And what about 10 power 8? For now, 10 power 8 is in the denominator. I can write it in the numerator with a negative power, okay? It's 10 power minus 8. I had 10 power 8 in the denominator, but I need to have it in the numerator, and the rule says when I will shift it to the numerator, the power would become negative. So it is 0.5 multiplied by 10 power minus 8. But we are not done. We need to give the final answer in standard form, okay? In order to give the final answer in standard form, I need to move this decimal 1 unit to the right. So this decimal would be moved 1 unit to the right over here, and it would become 5 multiplied by 10 power. I've moved the decimal to the right, to the power would be -1 multiplied by 10 power minus 8, okay? So 5 would come as it is. We are multiplying two numbers, bases are same. So it would be 10 power minus 9. This is going to be the final answer. Now I'll explain this again, don't worry. It was 1 divided by n, this is n. I have separated 1 and 2 and I've separated the rest of the thing, okay? 1 by 2 is 0.5, that's perfect. 10 power 8 has to be taken to the numerator, it is 10 power positive 8. When I will shift a number from denominator to numerator, or if I shift a number from numerator to denominator, the sign of the power is changed. Right now it was positive 8 and here it would become negative 8. Okay, everything was sorted. The only part left was we need to write down the answer in the standard form. So 0.5 is not the standard form. I've moved this decimal 1 unit to the right side. So I would be multiplying it by 10 power minus 1. Okay, and then it is going to give me 5 multiplied by 10 power minus 9, because again the bases were same and I've added the powers and it gave me minus 9. Acha, those who are finding this understanding difficult, if the power would be positive or negative, I'll tell you. This is 0.5. Okay, you are looking for the standard form of 0.5. So you know that you have moved this decimal 1 unit. Okay, either the decimal would be moved 1 unit to the left or right. If you're not comfortable with the left right concept, just know that it would be 5 multiplied by 10 power 1. Now you need to think if it would be positive 1 or negative 1. If it would be positive 1, then you would get 50. But actually we have 0.5. Okay, so it is a small number. If you have a small number and this is 5 here, so in order to write down the standard form, we will be writing down minus 1 here. Okay, this could be a better understanding. For 0.5, 5 multiplied by 10 would give you 50. So it would obviously be 10 power minus 1, right? So this is going to be the answer. Any confusions here? Please tell me if you were able to understand this or not. Yes, Amiza?
No,
Sorry, you were not able to understand this?
no confusion, no confusion.
Okay, all right. Yes, Amiza, Nusharwan and Urva, please confirm if you were able to understand this or not.
I
Understood.
understand.
All right, okay. Perfect. Acha, okay, Amiza, you can watch the recordings. ठीक है? All right. Let's talk about the next part of the question. That's not exactly related to the chapter which we are doing right now, but it is related to what we have discussed already. Okay. Find the smallest positive integer m, given that m into n is a cube number. Okay. What is n? N is 2 multiplied by 10 power 8. 1 second. N is 2 multiplied by 10 power 8. Okay. So can anyone think about m such that when you will multiply it with n, mn would be a cubic number?
I can't think about it. I can think of any.
Yes, please message that value then.
I cannot think about it.
Okay, all right, okay. 1 second. Acha, this is the question. Basically, one of the students wanted to that I should revise the question. It's basically find the smallest positive integer m, given that m multiplied by n is a cube number. So n is basically 2 multiplied by 10 power 8. You need to think about m such that when you will multiply it with n, this becomes a cube number.
Teacher,
Yeah.
what's is a cube number a number that multiplies by itself by 3?
Yes, you're right. And if we talk about the prime factorization, so there a cube number is basically defined as the prime factorization should have this type. Okay, it should be 10 power 3. It could be 10 power 6. Like the powers should be multiples of 3. So at this point, we know it is 2. 1 second, okay? It is 2 and it is 10 power 8. What if we multiply this 2 with 5? Just think about it first and then, okay, I'll ask if you were able to understand it or not, okay? It is n equals 2 multiplied by 10 power 8. We are looking for a number such that when we multiply that number with this n, it becomes a cube number. A cube number is basically a number whose prime factorization has numbers of this type and the powers are basically multiples of 3. So it could be 3, it could be 6, it could be 9, stuff like that, okay? What if I multiply this number with 5? 2 multiplied by 5 would become 10 multiplied by 10 power 8 and it would become 10 power 9. So 10 power 9 is certainly a cube number because the power of 10 is a multiple of 3, okay? So we had 2 multiplied by 10 power 8. I need to multiply it with a number such that this becomes a cubic number. I know that 10 power 9 would be a cubic number. In order to make this 10 power 9, I have multiplied it by 5. 5 multiplied by 2 would give you 10. 10 multiplied by 10 power 8 would give you 10 power 9. So the number is going to be 5. Yes, please tell me if you were able to understand this.
Yes, understandable. I
Okay.
understand.
All right. Okay. Very good. One last thing, and then that is it. Some of you would have thought about it this way as well, and this is how we have discussed it. The factors are basically it's 2 multiplied by 10 power 8. Okay. So some of you would have thought that we can multiply it with 2 power square and simple 10. So it would give you 2 cubed multiplied by 10 power 9. Okay. So this way, m was turning out to be 20. And the way we have discussed earlier, m was basically 5. We are looking for the smallest possibility of m. Okay. Even this way, even if we use 2 squared and 10, 1 second, this would basically be 40. Okay. Yes. This way it's 40. And the way we have discussed earlier, it was 5. Since we're looking for the smallest possible integer, so we need to be careful while choosing the value of m. Okay. A lot of numbers can make m into n a cubic number, but we need to be precise about what we have in the question. It says smallest possible. So when we will multiply 5 with this, it would give you 10 power 9 and 10 power 9 would basically be a cubic number, right? So that is why it is 5. So I hope it's okay and you guys don't have any confusions with this. It was simple.
I
5.
don't have confusion.
All right. Okay. That's great. I'll be stop sharing the screen. I'll stop the